Okay, we're recording now. Yo, Brandon, welcome to episode 1, episode 2.
I feel like this is just probably... Oh, I guess we technically did an episode on those blue chairs, but we didn't have this set up. Let's call it episode 1.
I wonder if we go wide. What if we did that?
Can you change the mode of that lens? Can you use your wide angle on the camera?
I completely fucked this up somehow.
Let's not worry about the wide.
Fuck the fuck the wide. We're gonna keep it like this. All right, so tell me a little bit. So it's Friday. We're building this office right now, downtown San Diego, and it's our first office. It's my first office. It's your first office?
It's my first office. It's crazy. It's my first office. It's your first office. Congratulations to us.
Congratulations. How does it feel? How does that feel to finally have your own place to be creative? And I'm not talking about like you and I, we both had home studios, but this is our first external studio.
Right. Absolutely. First outside studio. First place I had to drive to to go to it. It's huge, man. Like I've been wanting, especially after COVID, I've been wanting to get out of the house. I know a lot of people, they think that they like working from home, and then they realize that they don't do shit anymore and they don't shower and stuff. You know? Because trust. And if they're laughing right now, it's because they know you skipped some showers, bro. What's the point?
Well, no, that's funny because everyone thinks they want to work from home, right?
Yeah.
And when you finally do work from home, you realize, and I've talked to a lot of people who work from home, and we've all agreed that you think you're going to get more done, but you're actually less productive working from home than when you leave and come to a physical location.
Absolutely. It's because when you're at home, you don't have any start time, you don't have any end time. And then because of that reason, every time in between it's just not structured enough, right? Like you can dilly-dally, you can get distracted. If you have kids, there's kids there. You know, you have your dog, you have all the distractions of the house. You start doing laundry, you start doing this, that, and the third. I just feel like your hours become a lot less productive, obviously depending on the industry you're in. But when you leave and you get to the office and you have to be here at a certain time, it's like, boom, now I'm in my work time, and your mind is able to do that shift. When you at home, your mind doesn't technically like shift onto I'm in work zone. Maybe for some people, but not for me, man. It's like I'm still at home. What do you mean work?
When I was working from home, I actually had to try to create a schedule for myself. I had to be like, okay, I'm gonna jump in the shower. I'm gonna dress professionally just to sit behind a computer.
Yep, exactly.
And eventually that's like, you know what I realized? So I thought I was introverted, right? But it was because I was so active and so like socializing every day that I just sort of felt burnt out a little bit from socializing every day, and that I would like really enjoy my alone time when I wasn't socializing, where I would like not want to leave the house or anything and just sort of recharge. Yeah. And then COVID happened. Right. And I really couldn't socialize. And I realized I'm not an introvert at all. I'm actually an extrovert. I was just a little burned out.
Right. It's like, yeah, because it's always like the opposite of like, it's like we want what we don't have, or your body naturally craves what you're not doing as much, right? So it's like before COVID, everyone was leaving the house to go to work. Barely anybody worked from home. Everyone was going to the office, going somewhere, going to their job. And so you craved that alone time because you're always in the environment of people around. And then you'd be like, oh, I'm at home finally, or I get quiet time, blah, blah, blah. And now we have the opposite. And then now it's like, I'm craving the socialization again. And so it's like our bodies want balance. Our brains want balance. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like not being around people all the time really screws with you. You know, you miss out on a lot of, I guess there's endorphins, there's dopamine associated with talking and engaging with people and hanging out and getting out of your house, bro.
I remember Elon Musk said something along the lines where his employees had to work from home, and it wasn't fair for everyone else who had to work somewhere. So he wanted everyone to come back to the office, and everyone went in on him talking crap. Oh, people are more productive when they work from home. It's a lie.
Yeah.
Very few people are productive working from home.
Right.
Most people need the separation to be like, I'm here to work, and then when you go home, you're there to chill. I think most people just want to be lazy.
Right.
That's all it is. Most people...
We're naturally drawn to the laziness.
Yeah.
To the procrastination.
And even when I was working from home, I'm not going to lie, like, I would work, and then I would get like, you know how your brain draws a blank? You're like, oh man, like, how do I move forward on this project, right?
Remember when I drew a blank yesterday?
What happened?
I drew it on the wall.
Oh. Literally.
Anyways.
Dun-dun. No, so I think a lot of people, if you don't have that separation, you get lazy. And it fucks with your sleep.
Yeah.
It messes with your sleep as well. So you can't turn off work brain, and you can't get into let's time to get comfortable and decompress brain.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, your brain craves the structure. We're creatures of habit, right? We want structure, we want routine, and then we also want balance. And so when your brain and when you're in the same environment all the time, you're in your room, you wake up, you go in your house, you stay at your house, you never leave your house. It's like it's really hard for your brain to create that separation and like compartmentalize the different parts of your life. Because it's like when you pre-COVID, it's like you get up, you would eat, and you'd get dressed, and you'd be off to work. And then you have that experience of driving to work. And then you have the experience of going to the office. You have the experience of saying what's up to everybody, sitting down at your desk. You have the experience of going into lunch. You have experience of these meetings, calls, and then you drive back home, and then you're at home. And a lot of people would say, well, like, that's the rat race, bro, like, which is fine. But then you compare that to just literally sitting in your house all day. I take the former over the latter. I always get confused when people say that. I'm like, wait, which one is which?
Another cool thing is, so Brandon and we just got into business together, right? We just entered a partnership. Yeah. I've been always doing my businesses and all my businesses under the J Pro banner, which is my nickname, J Pro. Brandon's had multiple business under his banners, which was Combined Habits.
Mm-hmm. Combined Habits Media, and then, well, it started out as Combined Habits Music, and then went to media. But then before that, it was Brandon Lewis Productions, just under my name.
Yeah, exactly.
It was always just under my name. Yeah.
And we've so now we have a new business, and we've decided to name it
LOUDR Media.
LOUDR Media. How is it spelled?
LOUDR. LOUDR Media. Get loud. You know what I'm saying? Speak up. Break through the noise. Let's get loud.
And Brandon actually came up with this name. We were like, okay, we gave ourselves a time limit. We have to come up with a name by Friday, by today. I think it was Monday, and I was like, Brandon, we have to start drawing up some names. What do you think? And he's like, well, I actually have a name. I already bought the domain on it. It's called LOUDR Media. And I was like, perfect.
That was easy.
We'll use it.
we were way ahead of the deadline on that one. We turned that assignment in hella early. You know what I'm saying?
So I
felt so productive that day.
So for a lot of you who haven't started a business or a company, there's a lot of nuances that go with doing that. A lot of prep, a lot of setup, branding, the whole 9 yards. A name can be stressful as well. And so the fact that luckily Brandon already came up with that. How'd you come up with that name, by the way?
So the truth be told is that I wanted to change the name of my business for a while. We don't have to show all this, but I didn't like our name. I honestly didn't like our name. I liked it. I was cool with it. I liked what it represented and what it meant. I just thought it was kind of a mouthful and kind of confusing at the same time. Plus, I had a lot of people that tell me it was weird. But I was like, nah, fuck that. Like, this is what it is. Like, And I have that whole concept of the name is not really a big deal. People just associate how good the brand is, and then they say how good the name is. Like if an artist makes super dope music, their name could be Sklingleback, and it's like that name is hard by association because their music is so dope. And so I think it's the same thing with businesses. So, anyways, to finish the story before you click your button, I came up with the name. I came up with the name, Mr. Tangent. I came up with the name because I wanted it to represent what Combined Habits was creating music-based content. I wanted something that that would encompass video and music. Like that's what I was trying to do. I was like, how do I create a brand that encompasses video and music? That's what we did. And the whole term of like breaking through the noise was really popular, like disrupting, stopping the scroll. That's all stuff that we talk about, what we do too, and so does everybody. But yeah, and then I was like loud, like I want to get loud. And I just thought of LOUDR. And there's a couple brands that take away the E out of the ER as a kind of a trend or whatever. So I was like, LOUDR, that's dope. And I just started fucking Googling it and typing into GoDaddy. And I was like, it's available, immediate purchase. I just liked it.
And I actually liked it as well because I feel like it fit my brand as well because I'm a pretty loud person.
Yeah.
So I was like, and I like my content to be loud.
Yeah.
Which I have to dial back a lot of times because I want to see how loud I can get with my content.
Yeah.
But I have to dial that back, be like, like this will definitely could go viral, but at what cost?
Yeah, I feel you.
So,
but the name makes sense, right? Like that was the other thing too, is I wanted people to, because there's a lot of names out there where you say it and it doesn't mean anything to you, right? It doesn't, you don't have an immediate association, which is fine. A lot of businesses are like that. But because they've created such a brand, because people understand what it is, it doesn't matter. That the name becomes part of the brand. But I wanted something that people understood off the bat, because I'm sick and tired of taking more than 10 seconds to explain what I do. You know what I'm saying? And so LOUDR is just, they hear the word loud. Everyone knows what the word loud means. And so it just could be understood quickly.
Yeah, no one wants to be quiet media.
Yeah, right? Yeah, we're so quiet
media. So quiet.
Yeah, and it's dope. Like people are like, oh, loud. Like we get loud. Like you want to be shouted at the mountaintop. We want to shout your business at the mountaintop. Let everybody know who you are. Know what I'm saying?
No, I'm talking about.
Know what I'm saying?
No, I'm talking about.
Talking about.
So Brandon, how do you feel about entering a partnership? Like, I know I've been working solo dolo for many, many years. I believed if you want to get somewhere quickly, you go alone. But the last few years, I coming to realize that if you want to go somewhere far, you go with others. And me personally, I realized that I'm very limited by myself. I can't do it all on my own. I'm good at sprints, but this is a marathon.
Yeah,
this is straight up a marathon. And I've been looking for a tribe of people who, for one, had the same goals I had, who had the same vision I had, who believed in me and I believed in them, and who simply were on the same wavelength. And I couldn't find those same people. I would find people sort of similar, but not like the whole package. Like sort of there, like maybe they were into media the way I was into media, but they weren't into business the way I was into business. They just wanted to make cool, creative videos. And at some point, it's just like, yo, we're not helping really anyone with these cool, creative videos because there's no strategy behind them. I'm making you this, yeah, cool, I made you a cool video, but now what? It didn't go nowhere because there's no strategy behind that video. So, how do you feel about entering this partnership?
Yeah, man, I'm in the same boat as you, and I think that's why our partnership made so much sense, is because, yeah, I would be able to sprint, but then it's like there was 10 different sprints happening at once, right? It's like you have all these areas. Once you start learning more and more about what it takes and what's like the basis of a business and all that, what it takes, you realize there's like 10 different sprints that I have to run. And as a solopreneur, it's like you're trying to run them all at once. But what ends up happening is you can only run one at once. And then, so while you're winning in one area, you're losing in all the other areas. You know what I'm saying? Then you have to switch to the other race, and then you can sprint real quick, but then guess what? You start falling behind everywhere else. And so that's when you quickly realize, like, I can't do this shit by myself anymore, bro. There's just too much to do. And it's like when you start leaning on people to support you in certain ways, you learn really quickly what the capabilities of people and what they can accomplish. And so, yeah, I was quick to realize that I needed to find somebody. I just wanted to duplicate myself, just like the video we made. Duplicate yourself.
Just duplicate yourself.
And yeah, and it's hard to find somebody as good as you. It's hard to find somebody as smart as you. It's hard to find somebody who understands all the shit that you understand and understands like what it takes. Like knowing what it takes and then having the willingness to do what it takes is really the shit. And yeah, so J Pro, you know what I'm saying? I found all those things in my boy.
Ding. Yeah, and I've entered partnerships before that weren't. When you enter a partnership and you don't have the same value system, it becomes an issue, right? Yeah. When you're not on the same page,
right? And
so I'm really glad I got to meet my boy Brandon.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And we're gonna take this company, LOUDR Media, very far. We've been able to go pretty far on our own.
Yeah.
So I think, like the Wonder Twins or whatever, we'll be able to go even further, being one of the top marketing agencies in the country. That's my goal.
Fuck yeah, bro.
In the whole country.
And the biggest thing I think for me too is when you have a business vision, you know, for yourself, you know within yourself that you're going to be willing to do whatever it takes. And so you know that you're going to have to make certain sacrifices. You know that you're going to have to commit a certain number of hours. And even if you don't know what to do, because most of us don't, all you need to know is that you're willing to commit that amount of time and that amount of effort and to make the right sacrifices in order to get it done. Regardless of what the path is, if you don't have that initial aspect within you, then I ain't gonna fuck with you. Like, I'm not gonna be able to partner up with you because it's like, at the end, it's like one of those things that says no one's gonna want it as much as you. You know, that's what they talk about in like different projects. No one's gonna want it as much as you. No one's gonna care as much as you. And that sucks, honestly, but it's true. And so it's like, I had to make a lot of sacrifices over the last 6 months. I had to fucking get loans. I had to put a lot of pressure on my family. I had to put a lot of pressure on myself. I had to allocate, I had the late nights, like all the shit on a constant basis. And like, yeah, I had to make a decision for myself that this is it. This is it. I've tried a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I did the music for a long, it was music most of the time, but like I've tried a lot of things and I am not turning back now. There's no other options. I'm not fucking trying something else. Like, this is it. You know what I'm saying? Fuck.
There's a lot to be said with that. Choosing one thing and sticking with that. And I got caught up in this. I would say like the last 10 years, you hear, oh, you need multiple streams of income. You want to be the jack of all trades and whatnot. And I truly exemplified that. And if you knew my story, you would be like, oh shit, you have a Forrest Gump style story. You know, you've done everything, right? And you sort of, the biggest lesson I've learned is you need to find one thing and stick to that and get really good at that one thing. Because if you can be known for that one thing, you'll be very successful.
Right. And then it makes it easier to branch out and to create your other streams. It's like the people that talk about having multiple streams of income, they didn't start their 7 streams of income all at once. You know what I'm saying?
And also people don't realize, like, people, I need 7 streams of income. It's like, no, they have one whale that makes them all their money. And then maybe they take a piece of that and they put it into the stocks. Maybe they got a little bit of real estate. Maybe is crypto still a thing? Maybe they got they got some crypto.
It was a gradual thing. Their streams of income were a gradual thing. Or maybe you had two. Maybe we had a side hustle at first or what have you, but you can't do all the things at once.
No, because you'll end up suffering
Yeah.
on the you can either get really good at one thing or really not that good at multiple things.
Right.
And I choose to be
really not that good.
And so now I chose one thing, you chose one thing, and we are providing a service for our clients that's very optimal for that one thing they're looking for. Mm-hmm. And that thing is like, we have people coming to us all the time like, hey, we need to get on this social media branding. We need to get on these social media videos. Everyone knows they need to get their social media on point, right?
Mm-hmm. They do.
And
they do know.
they do know. But they don't know where to start. And then they try to do it on their own.
And they realize how much work it is.
It's so much work.
Yeah.
It's so much work. The hardest part, it's so much work that it's hard for us as who specialize in it
to even do.
To do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we're spending all this it's a lot of work, guys.
Yeah. And that's where process comes into play. You know, having processes and structure is so absolutely crucial. And it's just like our lives at home when we're sitting at home and we're going to work. Like if you have to be able to create a structure and a repeatable process. I know a long time ago I learned from an entrepreneur friend of mine. It's like the only way you can be consistent at something for a long period of time and not burn out and not do it for a little bit and then stop is to have a simple, repeatable process. Everything has to be broken down into a simple, repeatable process for it to become a process. If something is complex every time, it's not a process. It's just a complex fucking thing. And you guess what? If it's complex, you're not going to do it every day. You can't do complex shit every day.
No, you can't, because you'll get burned out.
Yeah.
I want to give the viewers, whoever is watching this video, if you want to start improving your social media and you want to like start putting out content out there, I'm going to give you some very basic tips that you can apply right now. Go on a piece of paper and write 100 ideas. They don't have to be fully thought out. Just write 100 ideas. Get your cell phone, put it by the window, and just boom, idea number one, and just talk about it for a little bit. Idea number two, just talk about it for a little bit. Don't overthink it. The idea, go down the entire list, and you'll have 100 days worth of content. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that's okay, because you're gonna start building momentum on those 100 ideas. You'll also, within those 100 videos, you'll also get better at speaking to the camera. You'll get better at talking about what you want to talk about. And after those 100 videos, you'll really get to go back and redo the ones you really liked, even better and more systematic. So something you can start just today, write 100 ideas and make 100 videos.
Yeah. And that is the key right there. That is the key. That process right there, as simple as that was, is the key to keeping up with social media today. You know, in the current format that we're all consuming, which is like, you know, more short form, information based, types of content. That is the key right there. And a lot of people will be like, some people will struggle with that too. They'll be like, oh, I don't know, I have 100 ideas. Well, cool. How about 30?
Well, let's do this.
How about 10?
Let's do this. Brandon, give me an industry.
Real estate.
Real estate. Okay. These signs of a booming market. These signs to sell your house. This one thing can save you a lot of money in fees. You could, like, I'm just freestyling right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can, or give me another one. Give me another one.
Another industry?
Another industry.
How about law firms?
Law firms? Boom. What's the difference between felonies and misdemeanors? This one thing can keep you out of prison.
Right.
When to hire a lawyer.
Yeah. I mean, a great place to start if you don't know where to start is you start with your frequently asked questions of your industry. So if you have a business that you've been running for a little while, I'm sure you have FAQs. Or if you don't have them written down, you have certain things that people ask you on a consistent basis or problems that you run into with your clients or your customers on a consistent basis? Or what are the problems that your customers have and why they need your service or product to solve it, right? And so you can even just start there. What problem is your service or product solving? And then you can start with that. And then it's like, okay, well, what are some other issues that are revolving around that? You know, what are the things that customers are always calling you about and asking? You know, you can start with your frequently asked questions, and then you can build off of that. And the process that Jeremiah is talking about right now is called batch creation, right? So his format that he just talked about allows you to create multiple pieces of content in one sitting, and then you cut them up, and then now, like you said, you have multiple days to be able to post, and it's gonna do a few different things. It's gonna make you look like an expert in your arena, in your space, and it's gonna make you look like an authority because you're gonna be speaking from a place of intelligence and know-how, and it's gonna put you out there into the world, and people are gonna start knowing about you. They're gonna start trusting you because of what you're saying, and then they're gonna gain more interest in your business.
That's essentially it. It sounds pretty straightforward. It's a little bit of work, a little bit of research, but it's so worth it, man.
Yeah.
And we have this it's pretty much like this space where you used to have to spend thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars for billboards, to put
TV.
your face on the freaking bus. Mm-hmm. Remember, you know the bus
Bus
the
stop?
bench,
Yeah.
the bench banners.
They still do it.
I haven't seen them in a while, but they still do it. Yeah.
And the whole side of the bus.
On the whole side of the bus, billboards, TV ads. People used to have to spend money to be on TV.
Yeah.
TV ads, right? And you spend a lot of money to be shown at 3 a.m. You don't have to do that no more with social media. Now it's a lot cheaper, and it's available to everyone. Everyone's on social media too.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody has a TV in their hands now. Everybody has a TV, and everybody has a TV network. Everyone has the ability to put out commercials themselves.
And this is really the biggest thing I always talk about, right? I hate to say this, but social media is extremely toxic. It's so toxic. And people argue with it's only toxic, blah, blah, blah. Come on, bro. Like, you telling me you're not getting hit with click ads, you know, and clickbait? Sure. So social media can be very, very toxic and very mentally draining, especially if you're like me and I wake up to social media and I go to bed to social media. So essentially, like what Brandon and I do, we're your mercenaries who enter the social media realm, and we take all the abuse for you. And we learn what people want to see, and we gather data, and we tell you what videos you should make, and then we make those videos for you so that you don't have to go in that arena and not spend time on your business.
Right.
You should be spending all your time on your business, what makes you money, and leave the social media to the social media guys.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And the reality is that you know how to run your business, you know how to serve your clients, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be really good at entering this realm of social media, because it is a certain format, it is a certain style, there are certain requirements that you need to meet in order to be accepted in this social media world. And so just like you would hire somebody else in your business to take over a certain task that's taking a lot of time away from you in doing other parts of your business, this is no different, right? And it's also no different than you hiring somebody that you know is better at something than you are within your business, because you know that you're gonna get a lot more leverage out of that than you trying to do it yourself because you're not that good at it.
And you know what? I feel bad for some of our clients. They come to us and they're like, man, we've been spending all this money on these marketing guys.
Nothing works.
And nothing works. And I'm like, yeah, because first of all, they're not using the modern landscape of social media. Right. They're making these boring, hard to read graphs on Canva. Yeah. Nothing against Canva. Canva can be really good, but it's not fun. It's not like people are not going to stop to read it, right, but people will stop to watch a video.
Right. And then on top of that, you run into people who say, "Oh, I tried the video things. Videos don't work." I've had attorneys I talk to just what's the word? Just glaze right over fucking video. Like, yeah, we tried video, and it's like, I'm not doing that anymore because that doesn't work. And da-da-da-da-da. So now I just do pay-per-click. And I'm like, whoa, rewind, bro. What'd you say? Video doesn't work? And I'm like, sometimes I get real blunt with them. Sometimes I don't if it's not worth it. But it's like, no, your videos didn't work, right? It's like, you see people do a lot of video, and their format is so screwed up, it's mind-blowing. It's like the first 45 seconds of the video, this is supposed to be a social media video or an ad, and nothing's happened. No one said anything. There's no hook. There's no immediate engagement. And with the attention span of social media today, it's like, out of here. Immediate swipe, you know? And it's like, you have to know how to format these videos so that it starts right away. Like, even some people, I know some people who I feel like shouldn't be doing this, they still do it. They have their logo intro animation thing happen first. And every single one of their videos starts with this logo animation intro, and they think, no, I'm branding. And it's like, well, bro, you're not branding if you don't make it past the fucking intro.
keep this in mind when you're making your videos, right? Here's some free game for you guys. The first 1 second, they say, oh, it's the 1 to 3 seconds. No, you got 1 second to hook me, and that 1 second will buy you 2 seconds.
Right.
And then every 3 seconds after that, you have to buy the next 3 seconds.
Right, yeah.
So you always have to keep it engaging. And also, I hate to say it, man, in this age, it's all about quantity of videos.
Right.
Quantity. So you have to put out a lot of videos, and some of them are not going to hit, but maybe like 1 out of every 5 hit. Mm-hmm. But look at it this way. Let's say you have 1 out of every 5 hit. So you're hoping to make like 1 video a week hit. But if you only make 5 videos,
right,
maybe only 1 of those,
or none,
or either none of them are hit or 1 hits, and that's only 1 video hitting a month versus 4 videos hitting a month,
right?
Or even 1 out of 30 hits sometimes. Like,
exactly.
You just don't know. You just don't know.
You don't. And people think that there's a formula for going viral, and I guess to a certain extent there could be if you're really throwing a lot of money behind something. But the reality is that this concept got figured out a long time ago. All right, long decades ago, people realized that the more you do something, not only the better you get at it, but the more chances that you're increasing to make a hit. They figured this out in music a long time ago. You look at all the greatest artists. Michael Jackson, you look at everybody, they created so many songs. They were making songs all the time, all the fucking time, and every single song wasn't a hit. In fact, sometimes you listen to these artists' albums and most of the songs are trash, but they have their hits on there, and guess what? That keeps them going. It keeps them going, and they just keep on creating. It's the people who think, oh no, quality is better over quantity, but you're limiting your opportunities so much. Because just because you spend a lot of time on a concept or a video doesn't mean it's going to be dope. It just doesn't. It just doesn't.
And it's quantity, but it's also quality and quantity over time. Quantity and quality over time. Quantity will get you there. Quality will keep you there.
Right.
And then time on the platform. So because you're hoping to gather. It's compound interest. Right. So you slowly start building the views. And over time, that will quantify and multiply.
Yeah. Compound interest, baby. That's what it is.
All right, man. Well, this is podcast number 1.
Yep.
Felt good. Mm-hmm. Just like this. This is podcast number 1. It's going to get better for us. It'll get better for you. Got any closing thoughts, Brandon?
No, just, hey, we're in it just like y'all are in it. You know what I'm saying? We're in it every day. We're trying to improve upon our processes. We're trying to create a more well-oiled machine. And as we learn, we're gonna pass on our learning to you guys. And so our goal here is just to, make sure that you're getting, we're sharing our experiences with you so you guys can create the same way that we create and improve upon your business and improve upon your life. That's all we're trying to do, baby. Live good.
And be louder.
And be louder.
And out.